Hi, I'm Ploxy, and I've been playing WoW for over 16 years. In this series, I'm going to be starting all the way over and doing each zone one at a time. This is the story of Azeroth's greatest adventurer. First things first, we have some rules and exceptions to go over. Every character on this account will be locked to level 30, and that's all the way until the Cataclysm expansion. Next, I'll be doing all reputations before I can move on to a new expansion. We have some reputations such as like Dark Moonfair, which will be done over time and won't lock me to a zone. Bloodsail Admirals is one I want to leave at Exalted, so I'm going to need multiple zones unlocked before I go for that, but it will be done before I go to Burning Crusade. Next, we have Battle Pets, which I'll just be capturing each Battle Pet at rare quality and doing any of the pet battle quests that I can. Next off is quests, and of course I'm going to be doing all of the zone quests, but I'm going to come back and I'm going to do all of the Legion quests. I will have alts that will be able to do all of the class quests. You can eventually have 100% in all of the things. That means we're going to have a lot of different characters. I'll be unlocking different characters and classes as we go along, but to prevent the fact that I'll have to play a lot of humans, it's just going to wait until I unlock more zones. So now it's just zone and rare drops. I'll be getting all of the zone and rare drops in an area. I'm not sure if I'm going to go for appearances that I already have in future zones. I haven't run into that problem where I'm having to skip half a zone because I have the appearances. If that becomes an issue, I'll just go back and I'll get all of the items that I don't have the unique ID for. Before we get into any zone stuff, I want to go over to a couple of exceptions. In the future, all of this stuff will be in the description below, so I don't have to say it over and over again. But here's some footage of me buying a bunch of random stuff from the hundreds of vendors in Stormwind. The first of the exceptions is I won't be using any flying mounts, not until the Burning Crusade. I don't think there's any reason to make the pace go even faster. I want to take it slow and really enjoy the game. Next, we have dailies. I'm not going to let them lock me to a zone. I will have them lock me to an expansion. But the fact is, I've been doing the fishing daily every day for 2 months. I have one of the items. Next, I want to talk about mega rares. There's a little example in the upper right there of one. That's a 0% drop rate. I'll have to run these dungeons hundreds of times just for a chance to see one. These dungeons take me half an hour sometimes. It's just not feasible to grab all the mega rares, and I'm not going to buy them either because they cost millions of gold. Next is raids. I can't solo raids. Once I'm higher level, I do plan on coming back and getting all the raid drops, but they're just not going to lock me to an expansion or a zone. Next off, I'm going to call this loot funneling. Basically, if I do content with another level 30 just to get a dungeon done faster, whatever items drop need to be in my name. Yeah, so the last thing is I'm not going to be using the auction house or trading other players for items. I'm not going to buy things or sell things. I'm going for kind of the Iron Man style. That does mean I won't be going for things like the Champion's Treadblade, which is a gold sync mount. But if you think I should, let me know, and maybe I'll change that and I'll just sell things that I get in my zones. Things like Antonia Pirelli. He's a vendor that travels around Elwynn Forest and Red Ridge. He's bugged out and has been for years. His bracers he sells I can get from other sources, so I'm not worried about it. I don't need to buy him off the auction house. I'll get the appearance eventually. Also, I already made a rogue. I jumped the gun a little bit. I just got him up high enough to get pickpocketing because I thought I would need it a little bit earlier than I did. First off, we got Gug Fat Candle. He drops a bag and the small wooden hammer. Then we got Fed Fennel, who drops another bag, and the Pale Skinner. We have the Broodmother, who drops the web-covered boots, and the Broodmother Carapace. Then we have Mr. Lightfingers, who drops the fingerless gloves, and the Thuggish Shield, which I don't have a clip for, but I got it. Then we have Narg the Taskmaster, who drops the ratty old belt and the studded blackjack. Gruff Swiftbite, who drops the boarhide legs. Morgaine the Sly, who drops the jeweled dagger and the lithe boots. And that's it for Elwynn Forest. The rest of the rares don't have any unique drops. Alright, we start at Gug Fat Candle, and he took a whopping 1 kill for both of his drops. Same with Guff, who I actually got the drop on both characters while I was leveling the rogue and on my first kill with the warrior. For Mother Fang, it only took me about 15 kills, which is good because it's a shitty long cave full of spiders. I got the boots on my warrior, and then I got the carapace on my rogue while I was leveling him to 24. At this point, I didn't have Kill Tracker installed yet, so most of these took under 20 kills until we got to Fed Fennel. I couldn't tell you the exact number, but honestly, with how many ads he had around him, he was the worst rare spawn to get things from by far. But I got a bunch of random greens that helped me out quite a bit, and I got the item. I did get the zone drop that drops off the guys who surround him. I didn't record it because by the time I got the Pale Skinner I had like 7, and I just didn't really think about it. Then off to Light Fingers. I don't know where all my footage went of killing this guy, but I killed him every time I did Narg, and I killed Narg a lot. I also hit level 30 killing him. Speaking of Narg, I got the Cobalt Mining Shovel while I was killing him over and over, and we're going to come back to him a little bit later, because we're off to the Stockade. So the Stockades has 5 drops from each boss. One has an upgrade each for me, and then the quest for killing Hogger gives me a shield that isn't gray anymore, which was awesome. I'm going to admit that I didn't record as much as I should have in the Stockades. My thought was, oh, I have 2 reputations to get exalted and 15 drops to get, but Collector's Bounty came out, and I got all of the drops within 2 kills each, I believe. It happened really fast. I, of course, recorded a kill of each boss, but not Randolph. Honestly, the ads before him were more difficult. He just doesn't do enough damage to hurt me, and I do so little damage. It took about 7 minutes. So for Lord Overheat, the strategy was really easy. I didn't think I could beat him at first, but all I had to do was use Spell Reflect and line of sight him. But that was really the whole fight. I cleared all the rooms up to him, and then I just scooted in, and I would let Second Wind heal me up to full when I got low. It took about 3 kills to get everything from him, and that's, of course, when I didn't forget to put Legacy mode on. Which, if you don't know what that is, that's when you let a higher level character come in, they get Legacy loot rules, you log that character out or have them leave the dungeon, and then you get loot from all armor classes. Alright, so here's a full Hogger kill at 250% speed. My strategy was basically just do damage, and then once I got low, I'd stun him with Shockwave, Heroic Leap away, and then once he got close, I would use my other stun that I forget the name of right now. That would let me heal up to pretty much full, rinse and repeat. There's just really not too much to these fights. Once you figure out how to do them, that's it. And they're not very complicated. There's not mechanics you really need to worry about. He had an interruptible thing. I would interrupt it. It just lowered my damage. That is also my Exalted with Stormwind kill. From this point on, all I did was clear the first 2 rooms and just kill the trash over and over and over again. I ended up with about 1,200 kills on the bandit dudes in the beginning, and that's for Stormwind and the Pandaren rep for Alliance. Got them both exalted. Easy peasy. After that, I went and I bought all my horses that I'll never use because they look silly on Pandaren. They're way too small. And then ran right back in for trash grinds. And basically there was one mob in there that shared a spawn. He would stun, and that was annoying. Sometimes if there was like 4 of them instead of just 1, I would literally just leave and reset it so there was less. they were the only annoying part about that. I did just decide that like it wasn't worth going for the bosses for the extra rep. They just took too long. In the time it took me to kill one boss, I could kill the trash up to the first boss twice. So it kind of evened out. It was a lot more drops for greens and stuff. I didn't get anything interesting. I mean, I got a ring. That's pretty much it. Nothing fancy, no blues. I did get a ton of linen cloth, though. So that's nice, I guess, for when I want to level a tailor. So after the stockade, I went back to Stormwind, dug around the vendors a little bit more, double-checked everything. I found the PvP vendor for Cataclysm. He offered me a helmet and a necklace that were technically an upgrade. Everything else I bought and had to type delete out for each one of them. And I wanted to bring up trading post stuff. None of it is required, obviously. I'm not going to really say I'm not going to get anything from there because there's this really cute fish and I wanted him. Most of the stuff is cosmetic, though. I probably won't be using it because, you know, grinding out weapons for a long time and I want to use some of them. Then here's another thing that will date this video is I go back and I buy all my bank tabs, which as of the release of this isn't a thing anymore, which is kind of cool. It gave me a ton of bag space, but that's future video stuff. And then we have Greedy Emissary stuff. So this is an event that happened at the top of every hour. Summon 3 goblins, they drop loot. It's a ton of cosmetic stuff on the screen. You can see me scroll through everything. There is a 36 slot bag. I put it in my bank for now, and then I'll come back to it later once the bank things are removed. There's a mount, there's some cosmetic maces, there's a pet, and there's this really sick warrior set that I won't be able to get until Dragonflight, because that's where they put the vendor. So over these clips of me getting this stuff from the event, I want to talk about how much fun it's been being locked at level 30, being forced to take a slower pace on collection content, because at level 80, you just fly through everything. It feels like a chore to go back to old dungeons. It feels like a chore to do old quests. And when you have to put some more effort into it, the drops feel good. And it's a feeling that I think has been missing from WoW for a long time, is I'm taking time, not being level cap, instead of just rushing as fast as possible to level 80. I'm getting to see the world again without just flying over it in like 40 seconds. Now, like, I don't mind flying, but I do definitely see what it takes away from the game. And of course, over the time it took me to do this zone, Dark Moonfair came out. I figured, oh, it's not going to be too bad. I just have to go get like a pet or two, and I have to do my dailies, and I'm done. You know, maybe a couple of achievements, but they'll be easy peasy. It turns out the sea turtle mount drops from the pools around Dark Moonfair that I didn't know at the time, or I would have spent a lot of time fishing. You know, there's the Dark Moonfair trinket, which I got. 2 trinkets for me. That's awesome. But in the next video, I will go over a lot more of the Dark Moonfair stuff. Then I remembered to buy the flying mounts that I'll never use from the vendor over here. And we're going to finally get into our last rare spawn and wrap up this video. Over both characters, I had kill counter reset once. I probably killed this rare spawn 220 times, and that's being conservative. There was no feeling like getting the studded blackjack. So at this point, I kind of just had pets left. I don't know why I saved them all for last, but I did. At the end here, I find all the books that I need for well read, and I wanted to ask some questions. What do you want to see? Should I sell stuff on the auction house for gold sync mounts? What do you think I should do for alts and professions? Like, I have some small plans, but I'm not sure 100%, so let me know what you think. I wanted to say thank you so much for watching if you watched. I guess subscribe if you want to see the other ones I'm going to release, because I really have been loving doing this, and I plan on doing it for a long time. I can't promise super regular videos, but I am a couple zones ahead, and I have all the footage for it. Better footage than this one, I promise, because this was my first time doing this, and I'm recording on my phone, and I'm sick, clearly, and I didn't label any of my footage when I recorded with OBS, and I did like really small clips, and it was kind of just a pain in the ass to get all this together, but I learned a lot of lessons, and I want to know what you want to see, so let me know, please. And we're going to go right off into rolling our zone. I'm going to go over my playtime, which was 4 days, 41 minutes. The time I spent on the rogue was like maybe 5 hours or so. It really wasn't anything special. So I'm just doing voiceovers, and I didn't really prepare fully. I should have voiced this over while I spun, but here's the spin, and I'll see you in the next zone.